a bomb, which they'll think is you, and they'll swallow the bomb and blow up. It's really quite clever. You can switch to the morph ball at any time, to which the game kind of casually switches to a third-person perspective, and the mechanics of it really work quite well. It lets you get around really fast and do a bunch of fun stuff. And one of the stranger touches, the world of Talon 4 even has skateboarding-style half-pipes on it, and you'll see Samus kind of rolling up and down these half-pipes as though she's a skateboarder. It sounds ridiculous, but it's actually really quite fun. There's a lot of good stuff that can be said about Metroid Prime, but probably the single most impressive thing about the game is that it's just one completely seamless experience. There are no loading times at all in the game, not even when you first turn on your GameCube. You basically see the GameCube logo, you see the Nintendo logo, and then you're at the title screen, and then you can start playing, and from there on, the game never ever breaks you out of the experience. Using the convention of the series that passageways in the game are divided up by doors that need to be shot open, the designers were able to make new data kind of stream in transparently in the background, but you don't really need to know that. Effectively, you'll just find that you're able to go from one incredibly detailed scene to the next without any kind of delay, and this just makes the game unbelievably atmospheric. You're just struck with the sense that you're really in this big, huge alien world, free to go almost wherever you want, and free to kind of look for new ways of reaching areas that you can see maybe off in the distance, but you can't actually get to. The variety in the environments is as impressive as the environments themselves. You'll go from kind of boiling hot pools of lava straight into kind of snow-covered tundras, and it's really just quite striking to seamlessly travel from one of these types of areas into the other. The world of the game is quite huge, and yet every single portion of it just looks like it was meticulously designed, or rather it just looks natural. It really, these don't come across like levels in a shooter. It's just one big world, and that's exactly what Metroid fans would want to see in a game like this. Ironically, the criticisms that can be leveled against Metroid Prime are more criticisms of the Metroid series rather than of Metroid Prime itself, which is really, really true to its roots. One thing that you'll note is that enemies respawn in areas when you come back to them. It's kind of an odd thing. You'll wipe out a bunch of space pirates and you'll come back a few minutes later and they'll all be back. This is something that's always been true of the Metroid series, and it definitely keeps things lively, but maybe it's not terribly realistic. Also, there is quite a bit of backtracking in the game. You'll gain new abilities, and then you'll use them to go back through previous areas you've already visited. Backtracking is sort of a big game design no-no these days. People seem to think they hate it, but Metroid Prime actually handles it really well, because you'll go back through areas you've visited, but using completely different powers. You'll feel so much stronger when you revisit the areas you've seen before that it really makes for a pretty cool experience. These enemies that maybe once gave you trouble will fall easily to you when you have all your powerful new weapons and stuff like that. Also, someone somewhere, I suppose, could probably complain that Metroid Prime doesn't have any multiplayer options in it, but I don't really see that as any sort of detriment to the game. It's just something worth pointing out, I guess. The more you play, the more cool little details you'll notice. There are just all these really amazing graphical touches in the game that are very subtle, and yet you'll catch on to them and you'll appreciate them. When a bright light occurs next to Samus, you'll sometimes even see her face reflected back in her visor. You'll see kind of sheets of water pour down the helmet when she exits from a pool of water. And when she switches to the X-ray visor, you'll actually see her hand manipulating different switches inside her gun arm. It's really just a great touch. They're all the sorts of things that the developers, arguably didn't need to put into the game, but they just make a world of difference in the end toward making this game so atmospheric and so enjoyable. The game looks terrific and has audio to match. All the various monsters sound different. All the beam weapons create kind of the piercing, kind of shrill sounds that you'd expect from them, and there's a lot of ambient noise just to really draw you in. It fits right up there with the graphics and supports Logic 2 setups if you have them, and to really just create an all-encompassing experience. You'll hear everything going on around you, and it can be quite useful tactically just to hear the various noises, because not only can you hear enemies approaching from different angles, but you'll even sometimes notice the low whir of hidden power-ups in your vicinity. Metroid Prime is a big game. It'll take you probably around 20 hours to finish the first time through, though you could easily spend longer looking for all the various secrets. Finishing it unlocks a hard mode where enemies are more plentiful and tougher, and since it's such a good game, there's every chance that you'll want to play it again. It's just enjoyable to go through more than once. Also, if you have a Game Boy Advance and a copy of Metroid Fusion for the GBA, you could link those two together using the sold separately GameCube to GBA link cable to unlock a few extras in Metroid Prime. For one thing, you could play through the game using Samus's suit from Metroid Fusion, which unfortunately doesn't look as good as her Metroid Prime outfit, so it's not that big of a deal. The cooler extra is that you can unlock a perfect port of the original Metroid game for the Nintendo Entertainment System, which actually holds up surprisingly well. And if you've never played the original Metroid before, it's really interesting to see how far along many of the original game mechanics have come in Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime is really an amazing accomplishment on pretty much every level. It's just extremely successful. It's original. It's memorable. It's got everything that's good about gaming in it, except maybe some really interesting narrative. But that's hardly important when there's a game that's so atmospheric and so much about exploration and investigation. It's really your own kind of personal journey through the world of the game that matters. Who'd have thought that some unknown Texas-based developer could have created what's easily the best game in the Metroid series so far? And that's no easy feat, considering every game in the Metroid series before this one has been excellent. It's of course a must-have game if you have a GameCube, and even if you don't have a GameCube, yes, it's pretty much worth plunking down $200, $150 for the system and $50 for the game, just to play this game. It's really one of the best gaming experiences to be had this year, and that's really all that needs to be said.